Belal Muhammad, Leon Edwards. Goddamn, did Belal show up, right? Best performance we've ever seen. I think it's funny. People go, man, Belal, best performance he's ever put on. Yeah. It's a world title fight. That's what guys do. They give their best performances when a world title's on the line. That's what Belal did. Think how frustrating it is for Belal for 3 years calling out Leon Edwards, for 3 fucking years, knowing he could beat him. Think how frustrating that is. Oh, his fighting style is boring. Doesn't matter. He's gotten so much better since the last time him and Leon fought. He beat the fuck out of him, dude. Bully beatdown style. That first round, how easy it was to take him down, and the key to it, the reason, if you go to Leon's record chain, people will say, Leon wasn't ready. It's the timing of the card. You know, Colby Covington, you know, his wrestling's better than Belal's wrestling as far as credentials, for sure. Kamaru Usman, how come he couldn't get the same takedowns Belal did? You know, so you can come up with all these narratives. The difference is Belal's pacing, and also him cutting off the cage. He wasn't doing it with footwork. He wasn't setting up the takedowns with footwork. He was setting the reason his success rate of the takedowns against Leon Edwards, who's known for his takedown defense, was he got respect through his striking, which Colby never got. Usman never got. Never. Leon's so advanced in striking, they never earned his respect there. So he could focus on takedowns and force the fight to the middle of the cage, the middle of the octagon. Belal did something different we weren't aware of, where he would cut down. So Leon doesn't want his back against the cage, right? He's constantly circling. Everyone's trying to take him down, right? Everyone, he knows this. So his game plan is to circle. Those Colby and Kamaru would either be striking or wrestling. They weren't putting it together, or they'd try and cut off the cage and do their thing, and he'd be able to get his underhooks. Belal's game plan was perfect, because as Leon would circle out, he wouldn't cut him off with his feet. He wouldn't step out left to make him force him to the right. What he'd do is set up with striking. He saw him kept throwing a left hook, which would force Leon to get out of that, come back the other way, and he'd use his high guard. Leon kept going high guard, and he'd throw left hooks, not to land him, just that was the way he was forcing him to cut off the cage. You would hear the commentators go, Belal needs to cut off the cage or do this better. He wasn't doing it typically like boxers or high-level strikers do. He was literally throwing the left hook, but he would earn the respect early by tagging him. He got his attention, like, oh, fuck, this kid he's bringing it, right? He wasn't scared to get knocked out. He's going forward, and then that left hook, he got the respect early on. He would throw that, and when he would high guard, he'd hit him with the uppercut, and that high guard was constantly there, and then he'd keep throwing, the high guard would be there, and then he would blast through him. That's why the takedowns are so easy. That's why he had so much success. He got the respect in striking, which we thought Leon would have a huge advantage in. Not the case. Now, as Leon, if they do fucking tit for tat, straight striking, Leon lights him up. That's not what this was. It was his pace, his nonstop, relentless pace, and he would tag him to get his respect, get the high guard up, cut him off with left hooks, force his back to the cage, but you're just not shooting because Leon's so fucking good at getting his underhooks. But he can't get his underhooks when he's getting fucking lit up top and he has the high guard. So he'd be high guard, but it wasn't as soon as he did the high guard, because Leon's used to that, he can get his underhooks. Leon would go here, tag, body shot, boom, shot. By the time the shot was in, his hands were clasped. He's already around the waist, he's already around the legs. And that's why you get those huge takedowns. That's the difference. So you hear people say, I don't get it. Colby's a better wrestler. Kamaru's a better wrestler. Kamaru has knockout power. It's not that. Colby and Kamaru never earned the respect on the feet. They never did. And their pace wasn't as relentless. Belal, the pacing just kept coming. Leon's number one goal, his number one game plan was don't have your back against the cage. Belal, if you watch that fight, it's very limited fighting in the middle of the octagon. Leon constantly had his back to the cage, constantly. And it wasn't through your traditional cut him off with the lead foot, get him to circle back. It's through the striking. Those left hooks, the uppercuts. He got his respect, would wobble him. He'd go high guard. And the few times they were in the middle octagon, Leon had some success, kind of lit him up. So it was a battle of that. the fight took place in the middle of octagon, Leon wins that fight 99 times out of 100. But if it's against the cage, Belal wins that fight 9 times out of 100. That was the fight. Belal dominated that. And again, he got the respect because he wasn't scared. You got to take risks. You got to be willing to get knocked out in order to do that to Leon. And Belal believed in his chin. He got tagged. Sure, he got tagged. But he had to walk through that fire in order to have that success. And we haven't seen it before. And I like it. I love Leon. I think he's such a talent. He did a great job defending the belt. Monster. He deserved it. I like that Belal won because it opens up the division. Schaub's coming now. Schaub's coming. After seeing that, Belal Schaub's a fucking fight. That's a fucking motherfucking fight. Ain't nobody talking about rematch. Nobody. You do Leon versus Ian Gary. Leon, Ian Gary. Tough fight for Leon. Leon, Ian Gary. Schaub, Belal. These young lions are fucking coming, dude. And by Leon losing, it opens the floodgates. This is fun. You get all these different matchups. I think the belt's probably going to go around a few times. It's going to go around a few times. But Belal was ready, man. Went to enemy territory and just put it on him, man. Put it the fuck on him. You give Leon 1 round for sure. I'd see give him 2. You give him the probably the second, maybe the 5th with the cut at the end there. I still went towards Belal on that. And then in my group chat with some guys who know the game, that guys just don't know how to finish from the back. Hashtag no Diddy. Guys don't know how to finish from the back, but it's not that, because with Belal, with Colby, these guys that get the back like that, you look at fucking RoboCop, world champion jiu-jitsu guy. He has a million different ways to finish a guy from the back in jiu-jitsu. In MMA, it's very difficult with the gloves, even for a guy at his level. You're talking about RoboCop, who's a multi-time world champion. Gilbert Burns, multi-time world champion. Notice I don't get a ton of finishes from the back. With the gloves, it makes it very difficult. So the guys like Islam Makhachev or Khabib, where they're inflicting damage from the back and get the finishes, that's so much more important. So if you're going to focus on something, if you're Belal, if I'm Belal this morning, right? We're like, what could we do better to get a finish? It'd be ground and pound. The guys in 2024 in the UFC, they're too good at defending jiu-jitsu. So if I'm going to put my attention to anything, it's not going to be jiu-jitsu submissions. That's the least of my worries. It'd be finishing guys. If I get the back, I'm not triangling and securing it and trying to get this rear naked. It's fucking 2024. Everyone knows how to defend it. 2-on-1. It's fucking difficult. It's difficult. Notice RoboCop couldn't submit typically a all striker in CLD. That guy's not a black belt. He had his back how many times? He defended pretty well, right? That's how it is. So if you're going to put focus on something, if I'm Belal, hey man, we get Schaub's back, we get Ian Gary's back, whoever you fight next or in the future, we got to inflict damage, not go for the submission. We can't just have their back and control them. That's not what we want. That's not what the UFC wants. We got to get finishes. How are we going to get finishes? We're not submitting guys. It's not our thing. It's not your thing. Unless you're a high pedigree, it's going to be fucking tough in 2024 to submit guys. How can we submit them? All right. Well, our opportunity comes from wrestling. When we get their back, we inflict damage. We're not worried about control so much. Yeah, control first, and then we go to work. We're not going to sit there and try and get a rear naked choke. That's boring, dude. Nobody wants to see that. The judges don't like it. The fans don't like it. Dana doesn't like it. We get the back. We're going to try and get out of there and inflict damage. So his main focus should be ground and pound from the back. That should be the one takeaway. He had multiple opportunities to finish Leon. And because, he's not a black belt, Leon was able to reverse a lot of those positions. Because, again, he's playing this jiu-jitsu game. Nah, dude. Did you train in Dagestan? They don't even say jiu-jitsu up there. Fucking inflict damage, dude. Wrist control, one arm around the waist if you want, and fucking finish this dude. That should be his focus on these next few fights. You're not submitting these guys coming up. You're just not. It's not your thing. A lot of these guys, not your thing. Even RoboCop, world-class jiu-jitsu, you got the guys back. All right, let's throw some Hail Marys. Let's go for some arm bars, because unless you get in right away, you're not submitting the guy. It's not happening. At this level, it's not happening. RoboCop, again, multi-time world champion jiu-jitsu, world-class jiu-jitsu. How much jiu-jitsu you see out of that guy? It's just not, it's a different game. It's a different game. He's all stand-up. Now he'll get guys back, but he's not, again, he can't finish a only legit striker. Not even close. Controlled him. Nobody wants to see that, dude. You get there, inflict damage, and sometimes that'll open up the submission, but we can't hope for a rear naked choke. We've had their back for 2 minutes. It's not happening. You're not going to surprise him. All guys kept doing that. It was driving me nuts. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? What are we doing? You think you're just going to slip in the rear naked? It's been 1:30 of fucking control, dude. The only way you can get him to open up is you got to start applying fucking damage. And then when they're like, oh my God, boom, then it's in. But if you keep hand fighting, you're doing this shit all, dude, what are you doing? The fuck are we doing? Nobody wants to see that. That's why Dana was all disappointed. Dana's singing a different tune if Belal finished him rear naked. Different tune.
But how open are you, like, when you're grappling, right? If you're striking the guy that you're in the back control of, you're striking, how open is it for him to turn around and get out of it?
If you have good control, not much. Especially the way Belal had the
triangle,
the body lock. Yeah. They're going fucking nowhere, dude. But again, if you're just going to sit there and try and get the submission, fuck, dude. This guy's a UFC vet. It's not his first day in the park, man. This is terrible. It's not happening. Apply damage. The body lock, all right, if you want secure position, but then start to open up. Take some chances. It ain't happening.